Hi guys, this is Cecily and I was going to do a video about compost. I have some exciting things going on, finally, yay! Alright, but first guys, I'm going to give a little overview so you kind of know why I'm excited about dirt. Most of you, I'm sure, know what compost is. If you don't, it's basically making dirt. Old kitchen scraps, make topsoil, kind of how the world works, leaves fall, things, plant matter dies, makes topsoil, grow things in it. You can make your own compost. You can make it as simple or as complicated as you'd like to. When we first moved here to the property, actually before we actually moved on the property, I went ahead and started a compost pile as a very basic pile, which means you basically just throw your scraps and your leaves in a pile, turn them around when you think about it, and then you can let them sit for about a year and you'll have compost. Problem with that pile was the spot I picked. Then my husband decided to park things on it and put things in front of it, near it, so you couldn't really get to it. So here is how that pile's kind of doing. You can see it's not really composting too well, which is fine because, as I said, it's a very basic pile. You're supposed to have nitrogens, carbons, or your greens and your browns, which basically means like your food scraps and paper and tree pieces and leaves. So it's not a very complex one, but it does take longer. So my husband kept like parking things over on this one. For like 3 months I couldn't get to it because he had like his GNU, and then there's a wood scrap pile, and one of his Volkswagens was parked all around. I couldn't get to it to put the scraps in it. I thought it would be a good spot, but you know, that's one thing about when you get property is you start out like, oh, this will be a great spot for this, but as you live there and use the property and use the area, you find out, oh, it doesn't work great for that, which is fine. Because, like I said, I started that spot that would work for now, and it's not, I didn't put any infrastructure on it, I didn't build anything on it. My goal was to have a more of a bin type compost and maybe try to be a little more organized with it. So instead of just piling scraps on and randomly throwing in leaf clippings and pine needles and leaves, I do kind of more of the layers where you put in, like you make a bin, like a square shape, you put in your scraps, and then you turn it, and then you put in like a layer of leaves, and then you put more scraps, and you put like, you know, the more organized. And I think I did a video and I showed y'all that, and I had my little, it used to be a baby gate, and I'd made a little square pin with that so I could actually build up the compost instead of just smothering out of our pile. And then my husband ran it over with a tractor. So here is the remainder of that pin, as you can see. So it's like, well, darn, I mean like where the pile was would still be good dirt. And that's another thing is you want some beneficial microbes in it, and if you're doing a pile on the ground or a bin on the ground, those are going to be naturally introduced just from natural dirt, and earthworms can get in it, and that's good too for compost. So if you're trying to look into compost, like it's simple as complicated as you want it to be, throw your scraps in a pile, and you want some dirt germs to be able to get on it, maybe some earthworms, things like that. Those are great. But so that's how my 2 compost piles have went so far. Two things when you're putting this together. Number one, a lot of these pieces as you're putting them on have these little knobs. As you put them on, you can't see because you're reaching under here to put the screws in and tightening these. Make sure you're tightening the screw and not the knob. And number two, be careful because this piece here makes it kind of difficult to put in the notch next to it as you're trying to screw that in. So that's kind of difficult. But other than that, this is pretty simple to do. It's just repetitive, and it kind of makes your fingers sore. And now, I have this. I'm excited about this. I feel kind of like I'm on The Price is Right, giving it a spin here. It is a dual chambered compost tumbler. I got it off of Amazon. Technically it would have cost me like $76. It's over $25, so I got free shipping on that. And I have a debit and a credit card. I try to get only cards that you can earn points just by your normal spending on. So my spending points, Christmas, the bonus points earned and all that. Here's what I got. Well, so the way this one works is, so this is a dual chambered bin. It came in a box. You have the plus here and the clock here. There are 2 containers. Don't worry, there's nothing gross in here yet. I haven't actually used it. I just got this put together the other day. Can you even see in there good? Tilt it. Yeah, so there's nothing in there yet. There's a divider here. So you pick which side you want to start with. This comes completely off, so you can swap it around. Plus side is where I'll put my scraps. Once that fills up, I will take this off, turn it around, and that will be the timing spot. So then I'll put my scraps in over here. And hopefully by the time I fill this side up, this will be compost. Now because this is up off the ground and nothing can get into it so much, I'll have to add like a scoop of dirt or 2 into here. And since like my leaves, I had my other compost piles where leaves can just kind of fall on them, I'll have to make sure to add more, what would be my browns, like paper, leaves, wood chips into this to help it along the way. I might do a video like periodically, maybe once a month, maybe, I don't know. I have no idea how long this will take me to fill up. I've never like measured compost. It's always been like in a pile or on the ground, and it kind of weighted itself down. But hopefully this will work out better for me. So you put the things in, and then you just give it a spin. I really feel like I should have something over here. It could be The Price Is Right. Come on, 100. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not that old. Anyway, so here is my new compost system. My husband runs this over. I'll be quite upset. It took me a long time to earn those points. But it's mobile, so if he's doing something, we can just pick the whole thing up and move it. So that should be great. And it's black, so it should help it heat up. So that should help it do faster. So it's a little more sophisticated, and I need to keep a better track of, is this, you know, green? Is this the brown? Am I keeping the little things and the ratio that it should be? I hope so. You guys wish me luck, and I will let y'all know how it goes.